We've been there last night, yeah.
Where
so
we are
maybe
going now?
Pantheon.
Fountain. Fountain means fountain?
No.
That is different.
No, I will explain to you, So, this is a church of Holy Mary, but after this church, it's also beautiful, but I mean, we will need an entire month to visit every nice place. This inside is Gothic, which is a rarity in Rome because we don't have much Gothic architecture.
Oh,
It's the Church of Holy Mary on the Minerva, it's called.
it's a kind of church and
And that's, by the way, this little elephant. There is a connection. Bernini, the artist who made the columns in St. Peter, and also the one, it's a famous the one who made the fountain in the center of Piazza Navona, the first square where we saw. He was commissioned to build a holder for this obelisk. It's an Egyptian obelisk, no? And he thought, and he decided for an elephant. Why? Well, because he needed a strong body to hold what? Well, the obelisk itself, it's rock, but also the Egyptian hieroglyphic, they carry this mystery, this knowledge, no, of the Egyptian
వాళ్ళు
civilization.
దాన్ని ఒక దాని
All
మీద
these-
పెట్టాలనుకున్నారంట. దేని మీద పెట్టాలంటే అప్పుడు ఆ గుర్రం అదే ఏనుగు బొమ్మ గురించి చెప్తున్నాడు ఆయన. Go
all
ahead.
this knowledge of the Egyptian should be held not only by a strong body, but also by a great memory, a big wisdom, which the elephant has. And maybe Bernini, 400 years ago, already knew about India. Well, there is Ganesh, which is
Ganesh.
also an elephant.
Oh, you know Ganesh
So
too.
yeah, of course, and he's a god of wisdom. And you know another god of wisdom? This church is called Holy Mary on the Minerva. Why on the Minerva? Minerva was a Roman goddess, the goddess of
మినర్వా
wisdom.
అన్నది రోమన్ గాడెస్ అంట.
Also, like Ganesh, she was the goddess of wisdom, Minerva. And the church, Christian church, has been built on top of the ruins of a pagan temple dedicated to Minerva. This is why this Christian church has a pagan name. And here, the very famous Pantheon. On my left, here in front of me. Now, this is Pantheon. What is Pantheon?
Fountain అంట. Yeah, what is
Now,
fountain?
Pantheon now it's a Christian Catholic church, but it was something different. Pantheon, it was a pagan temple. Pantheon is made of two Greek words. Pantheon, which means all the gods. Now, this was the pagan temple in ancient Rome dedicated to all the Roman gods, Roman and non-Roman, all the gods of the Roman Empire. And thanks to the fact that this pagan temple was converted into a Christian church, it is saved. This is why it was not demolished. Well, it was not demolished, but you can see that here you see bricks. Well, they were all covered with marble, also here. So it's a almost 2,000 years old Roman monument, which was dedicated to all their gods. And now it's dedicated to Holy Mary, because it became a Christian church. Now, while this part is very Roman in style, circular, the entrance is very Greek. And you see those columns, they are like monoliths. They're one single piece of granite.
Oh, the
Well, now
round,
they broke, obviously, so they replaced them.
round ones.
Yeah, 2,000 years ago, the Romans went to Egypt. They took the stone in one block and carried back to Rome from Egypt these columns to place it here.
2000 సంవత్సరాల క్రితం ఈజిప్ట్ నుంచి అలాగే తీసుకొచ్చారంట. రౌండ్ థింగ్ ఒక్క స్టోన్ అంట అది.
Now, I don't know if you want to see the entrance of Pantheon or you want to just drive.
Right.
Okay.
We were there last night.
Okay.
We can save some time.
But it's beautiful because when you think about this, you see how everything was covered in ancient Rome. You see where the marble is not there, you see the bricks behind it.
Yeah.
So it was all
బ్రిక్స్
covered.
వేసి దానిపైన మార్బల్ తో కవర్ చేశారు అది.
Now this is a Christian church, so inside are buried the first two kings of Italy, also Vittorio, and also Raphael, the famous painter. Raffaello Sanzio.
రాఫెల్ ఫేమస్ పెయింటర్.
That's an Egyptian obelisk on top of a fountain from the Renaissance. Just being cleaned, actually. It's a little crowded road.
బస్ అయితే ఇంత నీట్ గా లేదు. అది అద్దం ఘాటులా మనకు చెప్పింది. ఇయర్ ఫోన్స్ పర్ఫెక్ట్గా పనిచేయి.
Beep beep.
Now see.
Beep beep. Eventually. That's another church. There are a lot of churches here. And this is dedicated to Loyola, who was the first Jesuit in history. It's an order of Catholics, by the way. No, there is this building on my left, which is the Chamber of Commerce of Rome.
This one?
Yeah, but one of the side is the older, and it's the original. Only one side survived from ancient Rome. Now you will see huge columns. Now this was a Roman temple dedicated to a human. Now which human can become a god? What do you think? The emperor. Hadrian, the emperor, who was buried in Castel Sant'Angelo, which we saw, became a god after his death. So they built him this temple,
Oh, okay.
which is now the Chamber of Commerce of Rome. So you see how layered it is.
రూమ్ అంటారు. ఈరోజు ఈవినింగ్ పోప్ ఇక్కడ సెయింట్ పీటర్ చర్చిని వస్తారంట. అందుకని ఫుల్ ట్రాఫిక్, ఫుల్ క్రౌడ్, ఫుల్ పోలీసు. వాటికన్ సిటీకి వస్తాడంట.
And there is a column. Now that's again another ancient Roman column, but it's made for propaganda. Because nearly 2000 years ago, a Roman emperor, Marcus Aurelius,
I can see here.
yeah, this one, Marcus Aurelius won some wars in what is now modern Germany, and they wanted to show how to the Roman people how the war went. Well, obviously, in a spiral way. If you look at the column, it is shown, those battles are shown like a comic book. Maybe from here you can see. Look at the column on the left, and you will see. You see the high reliefs, little
Yeah.
soldiers,
Yeah, now I can-
horses. So from in a spiral, from the bottom to the top, you can see the history of those battles. And it was all painted 2000 years ago.
అదిగో అక్కడ కనిపిస్తుంది.
On top, there was a statue of the emperor who won the wars. But since it was a pagan thing, the Christian later decided to remove the emperor and replace with a statue of a saint, Saint Paul, one of the two patrons of the city of Rome, which is holding a sword because Saint Paul was murdered by the Romans because he was Christian, obviously, and he was killed with a sword. His neck was cut. While Saint Peter was also murdered here in Rome, but he was crucified. Why this different? Why him with a sword and Saint Peter crucified? Well, because Saint Peter was not a Roman citizen. Legally, by the law, the Roman citizen couldn't be crucified. So this is why Saint Paul was beheaded with a sword, while Saint Peter was crucified. That's a Roman emperor named Constantine, the one of the arch near the Colosseum, to the Christian religion. You want to see the Trevi or you already been?
Travio means which one?
What you want to do? Because if you want, I can take you to your place, but I have to go there now. If not, I can bring you. I have to turn left.
Yeah, my
after
place
that.
is good.
Where? What do you prefer?
My place.
The place? Okay, I can get you
Thank you.
there. No problem. Just I have to be earlier because I have to get back. So. As you prefer. For me, it's completely the same.
We covered everything, right?
Sorry?
We covered everything, right?
Yeah, I mean, the main things, yes. Unfortunately, inside of St. Peter Basilica, we couldn't, access.
Yeah.
You saw the dome, but today is a special day.
Yeah,
so
you
it's,
told me. Yeah.
it was a bit hard impossible to get closer than that with the golf cart. So it was all the streets closed by the police. So
Oh, that time?
you remember when
No.
you saw
These,
you made the
these
video?
roads are okay, right?
Sorry. Here you can find some shops, but in the area of Piazza Navona, let's say, not far
Here
from
also
the...
they said that's a real
By the way, that this fountain here, that was made by Bernini. Again, the same one who made Ganesh.
statue.
Yeah.
Bernini. Okay.
That's Bernini. He made a merman. It's like a mermaid, but a man drinking out of a shell. And this has 400 years. This
అది
fountain.
400 years.
Yeah.
అది చేసిన అతనే అక్కడ ఏనుగు బొమ్మ కూడా చేశాడండి.